Okay, um, I think we're going here. We are live. Well, hello everybody. This is the OMAD Dad. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a channel that is dedicated to living the OMAD lifestyle or eating just one meal a day. And welcome to my first ever live broadcast. Hello, Tina. See, it just popped up there. I'm gonna have people kind of trickle in. I apologize. I meant to be on by like 9:30, but I'm here in Boston today on a work conference. I'm having trouble on my laptop getting connected, so I'm doing this all on my phone. This is where I shoot all of these videos that I do anyway. Uh, it appears to be working out really well. Hi, how's it going, Angela? Thanks for coming on. So I'm in Boston today. I'm in the financial district for a work conference. I'm going to be here for a couple of days, and I thought, well, this would be a perfect opportunity. Once I'm all done with my training, my dinner for the night, I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to come on and talk with some of you guys and meet with you and hear some of your stories. And hello, Kiki. Hello, OMAD Caroline. Caroline is on. And to talk to you, see about how you guys are doing on your OMAD. If you had any questions, any good comments. Taking down fat with C-Dub. C-Dub is here. How's it going, my friend? Fellow Fast Club members, those of you who are not on Facebook, who are not a part of the Fast Club, definitely check it out. So yeah, I'm here in Boston, and thank you, C-Dub. It's great to finally join the modern world and going live on here. I'm going to do just kind of a quick little spiel here, and then I'm going to start answering any questions you guys might have. So if you don't see me answering your questions right away, feel free to write them in again. I'm going to get through all of them as best as I can. So I'm in Boston for this work conference. Had a really nice OMAD tonight. We went to Little Italy. Hello, Leah. Good to see you. From Canada. That's another thing too. If you guys could just kind of post where all of you guys are from, I'd love to hear that. So yeah, we went to Little Italy. Had some spinach gnocchi. Had a little bit of focaccia bread. Some arancini. These little risotto balls. What else did we have? A little glass of wine, and then we went around the corner to Mike's Pastry, and I got a cannoli, and that was my dessert. I know, kind of a really nice OMAD, kind of almost a splurge but not really a splurge, because it was all around 1,500 calories for the day, and I didn't eat. Everybody else was just starving today, and I'm doing fine. That's the power of OMAD. But I'm glad I was able to connect with you guys tonight. I wanted to do this when we hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm up to 1,500, a little over 1,500. And I got to first say, I thank every single one of you for being a part of this. You guys inspire me. I love hearing your stories. I love the emails, the letters. Hello, Julia. Good to see you from New York City. Your stories are what keep me going and keep doing this, and it's nice to know that you guys are getting something out of this, and I'm not just talking to my phone. A couple of years ago, I discovered OMAD and I applied it into my life, and it works so amazing. I just had to share it with other people, and I'm glad that you guys could be a part of that. And I appreciate all of you guys for being here and supporting me for that. There was one thing I wanted to mention today too. I was reading this article about you guys, Penn Jillette. He's with Penn and Teller, and sounded like somebody was at the door, but he lost a lot of weight. I don't know if you guys keep up with the news at all. He was pretty large. He has slimmed down a lot. In this article that I was reading, I believe it was Apple News, was talking about how he is now OMAD. He also does vegan. He has the vegan diet going on, and that's okay. I myself am not vegan. I couldn't ever get myself to go that way. But there are plenty of people who are doing a vegan OMAD, and they're having a really great result with it. There's even a channel out there. Her name is Amela Nicole. Go look her up. She is a vegan. If you're a vegan and you're thinking about doing OMAD, check her out. She has a lot of videos on what she eats in a day. She just a really great conversation, a really great addition she adds to the OMAD family. But that was my news for today. So I'm going to start kind of going through some of the comments and questions here and see what we got going on. Okay, here's our first question. I keep falling off and I gain the weight fast. What should I do? Well, in my opinion, if you fall down, get right back up. Forget about what happened yesterday or the day before. Get back up, focus on today, break it down into, several hour increments. Focus on making right now, today, count. And that's really, as far as having long-term success on OMAD or any sort of diet plan, that's what you have to do. You have to break it down and take it day by day. If you're having a really tough time doing just the one meal, you start with a 5 or 6 hour eating window and say, I'm only going to eat within 5 or 6 hours today. I'm going to be mindful of my calories, but this is all I'm allowing myself to do. Many people find their groove around the 5-6 hour a day mark. Some people decide to push themselves a little harder. But if you fall down, get back up. We all have there's always going to be a struggle. There's, some people seem to fly through some of these things easier than other people, but that would be my advice. Just keep trying. But OMAD can be tough. So give yourself, say, even if it's a 6, 7, maybe even an 8 hour window, give yourself a chance. You don't have to necessarily jump right into OMAD if you're finding it that difficult. Start with a bigger window and then gradually, incrementally, week by week, cut it down by half an hour until you get to a point where you're either at OMAD or where you're comfortable with where you are. Maybe you're at a couple hour a day eating window. See if that helps. Let's see what we got here. Ohio. Nice. Minneapolis. We are all over the place. C-dubs from Virginia. You got New York City. Leah, I want to get serious about losing weight in OMAD. Tried it before for a few weeks, and I really want to give it a fair shot. Well, that's really all you can ask of yourself. Give it a fair shot, and I'm telling you, it is very, very powerful. How do I break my plateau? I have 30 more pounds to go. That is a question I get a lot, and a lot of people who do these videos for OMAD get a lot too. If you want to break your plateau, well, first let's define it. A plateau should be a minimum of 6 weeks staying right at the same. I know there's some people who are out there that have gone even longer than that, but if you've been at 6 weeks, try switching it up a little bit. Do maybe a low calorie OMAD today, like 500-600 calories. Try adding in a splurge day. Sometimes that jolts it a little bit. Sometimes what I would do is I would skip a day and then eat my next meal kind of like midday, so I'd have like maybe a 36 hour fast. Usually some combination of that usually used to always have me break a plateau. But experiment a little bit. Don't be afraid to give one of those a try. Leah asks, do we have to count calories? No, you don't have to count calories. I always say, though, you have to be mindful. I will say, though, let's say you're fairly large and you're used to eating maybe 3,000 calories a day. If you're going to go from 3,000 calories a day down to, say, 12 or 1,500, you're going to crash. You're not going to have it's not going to be fun for you or anybody who is around you. That's the problem with most diets out there. They go from 3,000 calories a day down to about 12 or 1,500 between 3 meals. You're eating like a bird. You're hungry all of the time. So I say it's okay if you count your calories. It's okay to do that. But if I'm used to 3,000 calories, so let's say I go to 2,500 or 2,600, I'm still at a loss and I'm still making sure I'm getting a good amount of food. Another thing you have to think of too is the more weight you lose, the lower your calorie maintenance is going to have to become. So So in other words, if I go from 250 pounds down to 180 pounds, the calories that I was able to maintain my weight at the 250 pounds is going to now be much, much lower at 180. I hope that makes sense. But a lot of people, what they do is they continue eating the larger meals, and then they kind of plateau out. But naturally, when you're doing OMAD and you've been doing for any length of time, you start to get fuller on less. And one of the things I do is, like, when I post my meals, I try to have a good amount of fat, fiber, and protein in there. I love having salads. I love having fruit, beans, things that like really fill you up that don't have a ton of calories. And it allows me to kind of stretch the meal, as opposed to just having really high calorie foods. So that's my spiel on calorie counting. You don't have to do it, but one thing I found too is that when I was struggling and plateauing, I kind of became like an accountant, and I would look at it and I'd say, okay, let's go by the numbers here. What's going on? What are we doing? I want to pick apart some of my meals. I wouldn't change anything, but I would go about a week or two and just look at my calories. And almost 100% of the time I was eating a slightly too large of a meal. So it's when I cut back a little bit and I was more mindful of my calories that I was able to get it to where I wanted it to be. Sorry guys, I have to charge this phone, so I have to kind of take you guys mobile. Hope you don't mind at all. This is so informal. We're going to go on a little road trip here. Can you guys hear me okay out there? I go a little bit lower. Oh, very sorry about that. Okay, let's go through some more of the questions here. Alrighty, let's see. Thank you, Angela. I'm glad I'm doing a live show too. This is so fun, and I think it's so cool. I love technology, and I love being able to connect with people all over the place. That's why I like Fast Club on Facebook. See about joining Fast Club. I'm an honorary admin member there, it's like we have almost 10,000 people from all over the planet that incorporate some form of time-restricted eating in their day. Like it's really amazing. Everybody does it a little bit different, but we're all using fasting as a way of bettering ourselves and bettering our health, and not to mention bettering the planet, because if you're OMAD, you're eating a third of what everybody else on the planet is eating. So you're definitely check that out. I'm gonna try and do this without. This is kind of tricky. I was planning on doing this on my laptop, but you know how technology can be. Let's see here. Okay. Yes, C-Dub recommended walking. I tell you, C-Dub, that has got to be my favorite exercise, walking. I could walk all day. I've always loved walking. It's something almost anybody can do. And, a lot of times when people join a gym, they get sort of that first workout high, I call it. Like they feel amazing, and they work out and they really pump hard. And then the next day they wake up and they feel like they got beaten with a baseball bat. Like this has happened to me, I don't know how many times. You wake up and you just cannot move. But I never have that with walking, even if I kind of overdo it. If I go 10 miles one day, my legs will be a little bit sore, but nothing compared to like pumping iron or doing some other kind of like CrossFit or anything like that. So yeah, definitely incorporate walking. It's a very practical exercise too. Let's see what we got here. Thank you very much for the nice comments, Smiley. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Caroline. Okay, Kiki writes, I keep falling off and gaining the same weight back fast. I plan on starting back again tomorrow Should I do a 3-day fast or just do regular OMAD as scheduled? Here's the thing, Kiki. It's up to you. If it were me, I'm not a fan of the extended fast. I've done videos on this before. You know, a lot of people, they want to do the extended fasts. It's very popular right now in the fasting community. It has its place, but for me, I would rather have my food, a little bit of food every single day, and just grind it out a little bit longer. You know, you're going to have a 3-day fast, you're going to feel great, you're going to lose some weight, and then the second you start to eat again, probably about half of that weight that you took off is going to immediately come back on. And it could be pretty disheartening considering going 3 days without food in this environment where there is food at every corner, 24 hours a day. It can be pretty frustrating. So if it were me, just forget about the past, pick yourself up, get back on the train, get back into OMAD, just focus on making each day count. Be mindful of your calories, go out, get a little bit of exercise, do some walking. That weight will come back off. What you want to do, the thing with 3-day fasts too, or extended fasts, is you want to set yourself up a nice healthy rhythm, a nice pattern that you can do for the rest of your life. And for me, extended fasts didn't fit into that pattern all that well. For some it does, so don't be afraid to experiment, but I mean, that's my 2 cents. Let's see what we got here. Cherry Buzz, thank you. Yes, Fast Club is amazing. You guys definitely should check it out. Yeah, and also too, there's a lot of I get a lot of great comments tonight from Taking Down Fat with C-Dub. If you guys haven't seen his channel, go over and check it out. I love his commentary on OMAD. I literally watch every single video he does. It's good. It's great stuff. I find that if I eat and break the quote-unquote seal, I get hungry for the rest of the day. Yeah, I find the same thing too, and that's why I'm not a big fan of splurge days. I kind of regret ever going down that alley, but you know, and the whole experimentation, the whole, you know, I gave it the old college try, and you know what, I didn't fail at it. I just learned that it doesn't work for me particularly, but that's okay. But yeah, I noticed that too, is like if you know, when you'd feel kind of almost pressured into eating, it's like the next day I would be ravenously hungry around the same time, when normally if once I get into my OMAD pattern, I can do OMAD every single day, and like predictably I don't get I don't get hungry until it's about the time for me to have my dinner. And in most cases I could go another whole day without eating, but I like how you say that, breaking the seal. It's really pretty much how it is. Let's see if we got any comments here. Should I just eat at night in my case before bed? There really is no perfect time to eat. It's been disproven that eating at night is far worse for you, or eating kind of late at night. There is no best meal. There is no breakfast is the best meal of the day or any of that. It's all been disproven. One thing I'll say is, if you're eating 3 meals a day and you have a fairly large meal at night, particularly just before bed, that can cause you to gain weight, only because you never really get the chance to burn any of that off before you wake up first thing in the morning and start shoving food in your face again. But for those of us, like, I eat my meal at night, and sometimes it could be 7, almost 8 o'clock by the time I'm done. And you know, and a couple hours later I go to bed. I wake up in the morning and I'm lighter. I do still lose weight, and then I have no problem going throughout the day and functioning well. So, you know, eating at night no big deal. That's nothing wrong with that. I eat at night now, and now with this new job, I'm able to have this same time pretty much every single night where I do my OMAD, and it's so easy now. Like I don't even have to think about it, and that's eventually where you wanna be. Let's see what we got here. 7 or 9 p.m. Again, that's the beautiful thing with OMAD, is that you can make it work for your schedule. It's okay that it doesn't really quite matter when you eat. It's whatever works for you. Like I found that if I eat my meal too much, like too close to my bedtime, sometimes I could get heartburn and I could get kind of a little bit of indigestion because I haven't really had a chance to kind of, my body hasn't had a chance to process the food and everything. Not to be TMI here, but I find like my sweet spot is like between 6 and 7. I have my OMAD with my family. My wife eats one meal a day now. It's just kind of a thing that we do. We feed our kids whenever they're hungry. They're 3 and 2. They need all the nutrients they can get. But my wife and I, it's really nice when you have your wife like joining you, and you have a spouse that's there to kind of cheer you on and look out after you, and you can, pull each other up if need be. But yeah, for me, my personal, sorry, it's really warm in here tonight. My personal hot spot, I think my sweet spot, so to speak, is like between 6 and 7. I have my meal around then, and like I'm able to kind of process it enough to where I feel lighter just before bed, and then I can sleep really well. I sleep like a baby. Let's see. Have you ever tried dry fasting and just rehydrate when you have your OMAD? No, and I don't recommend dry fasting. I did a video about dangerous fasting practices, and I mentioned dry fasting, and I know it's probably going to upset some people. It may even cost me some viewers, but that's okay. I'm all about doing things as safely as possible. I definitely don't recommend dry fasting at all. I really don't want to get into it tonight, but it's overall, it's just bad news. And again, you're an adult, you're free to experiment if you want. My official position, no, you don't need dry fasting. What do we got here? How much weight have you lost? Thank you, I love your channel. Well, thank you, Nancy. I have lost, let's see now. My heaviest, I was 235 pounds. And I remember I was 235 pounds, and I don't know, somebody's next door, like banging on the door. I don't know what they were doing. But at 235 pounds, I was so uncomfortable. I could barely tie my shoes. I was winded all the time. I was in pain. I got down to 170 pounds. So yeah, it was a pretty good amount of weight loss right there. I've gone back up to about 185. I'm probably gonna go down just a little bit more, but yeah, I'd say that OMAD, I never had the results that I've had with weight loss doing anything else. So I think I ended up before, I think it's around 60 pounds, 65 pounds I've lost. Correct me if I'm OMAD Caroline. We started the same weight, yeah. And another thing, another caveat to this too is I was pretty bad asthmatic. I always have my inhaler with me. And since going OMAD and losing the weight, I can count on one hand the amount of times in a year when I actually have to use my inhaler. But it's I usually only when I get really, really sick I have to use my inhaler. But when I was at my heaviest, eating 3 meals a day, I was puffing on that thing almost all day long. think we're going to take one more. This is from Leah. Do you find that documenting your OMAD journey or YouTube keeps you accountable? Thank you for your time, by the way. I'm thinking of starting a channel. Definitely, Leah, start a channel. Tell as many people as you can about this. Yeah, I feel like by me documenting this, I share my journey, but you're right, it does keep me accountable, you know, and it's like, like OMAD it almost becomes a part of who you are. And when you find something that's amazing, you kind of want to share it with people. You know, I don't preach it, you know, when I talk to people at work or, you know, people around here, I don't, you know, I don't get preachy with it. You know, people ask me if I'm hungry, I say no thanks, or I refuse food. I just, oh, you know, I'm watching the calories, but it does keep me accountable. And I try to give back. I mean, I found out about this when, through YouTube, that's where I discovered OMAD. And so I wanted to, this is my way of kind of giving back, to do the same thing. So, all right, I think that's going to be it for about now. This was fun. I'm glad we did this. I hope you guys got something out of this. I had a great time. I thank you all for coming in. I thank you all for subscribing and being a part of this. Let's do this again. Let's do this again really soon. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I wanted to do this on my laptop, but hopefully this worked out okay. And I hope you guys could hear me out there. I know from my last video that I posted that my volume is kind of iffy sometimes, but hopefully get that all fixed up. So until next time, I hope you guys are having a great week. A very happy OMAD. Be well.